Very good evening. It's Vikram Sareen, Chief Architect with Mula Technologies. Okay, now today we are going to go through a demonstration of how we are going to import the resource. So we're going to take the above two examples. One is from Global Sign, which is a very known CA, and also another system which is basically a complex WSDL, which is for multi-factor authentication platform called Axiom Protect. Then after that, what we're going to do is that we're going to actually create an access point. And in the access point, we're going to do a few things. First is we're going to do transformation. Second is we're going to do the security enforcement. And then the third thing we're going to do is that we're going to do API billing. Then after that, we're going to do the publishing part. So that will be the step D. That means I'll publish it. And after publishing, we will do a test for the SOAP UI, which is basically a standard, testing tool for I would say WSDL and WADLs to be tested. So that's we're going to follow. So I'm logging into the dashboard. I'm coming over here in the resource part. So as you could see that I don't have any of these two existing web services. So now I'm going to import the new. I'm going to pick up the global sign first, and then I can come over here. So I'll just give the name global sign web service, yeah, and then it's a remote WSDL, which is exposed over HTTPS. These are other options which we have talked about earlier. And then I can use basic authentication. If there was basic authentication enabled, then I have to put a tick here. So as you could see, we have options for test as well as live. So that means you can have two URLs, one which is pointing to the production and one which is pointing to the test account. So I'm just checking over here. Right now it's pulling up the URL and checking if the WSDL is correct or not. So both looks fine. Now I'm going to do import, or basically create a resource. So at this time the import is happening internally. WS import, which is a standard application or standard way of doing the import in Java, is being used. So as you could see over here, we have the global sign WS being imported properly. So I'll also quickly do the other one. So we'll call it Axiom Protect web service. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll try to put the wrong one this time and show you, check. So the URL is wrong, so it can quickly tell you real time whether URL is correct or not. And then I can actually come here and say whether it should be active or suspended. So if you keep it suspended, it's not going to be getting used. Yeah. So I'm saying create. It's taking a bit of time. Okay, so I have successfully imported both the WSDLs. Now I can obviously modify it or view it. So modify means that if I want to change the IP address or anything like that, I can do that. Yeah. So so I can change the IP or I can change this thing. So I'm not going to do that. Another one is enforce WS security. So over here, if your resource is using WS security, then you have to actually set the parameters. We are not keeping in scope of this particular video, but in in the other videos we'll be covering that part. So the import was quite straightforward. All it takes is less than 2-3 minutes for you to do it. Now I'm going to the access point. Now prior to access point, I already have a group which is created over here. So I've just kept the name of the company, Mula Tech, and then I also have the partners over there. So partners are the ones which are actually the developers that will be participating in actually using these particular services under a group. So group will have partners, and over there you will have the details, as well as you will have the IP that is allowing, as well as the certificate and the that is being issued to them. So I'm coming over into the access points now. So I'm going to come over here and create a new access point. Now what interesting thing we'll do is that we will create a demo WSDL. So that is the one which I want to create, a demo web service, and inside that I will be putting it both the resources. So meaning I will be putting multiple resources, which is global sign as well as XDM protect, and I will be using both of them in a single I would say access point. So over there, what essentially few of the features are there. I will not go into micro. So if you don't want to issue anything, you can straight away say yes, I want to publish directly, so no change will happen. Next is you want to enable versioning or not. So right now I'll just keep it disabled, go with the default version. Then over here we have the test and the production. So you have a lot of security that you can enforce by simply configuring it over here. So first is the time restriction. So let's say you don't want it, and let's say there are certain IPs you want to blacklist. So you can actually put a list of IPs over here that will be blacklisted from when these WSDLs or WADLs getting called. Then you can also decide if a business is between, let's say, Monday to Friday, or from Sunday to Sunday, that means the whole week. Then you can also come up with that. Then you can also restrict the volume. Volume is where it actually limits the number of transactions per day. Yeah. So I will not keep it for now, just for simplicity. And then this is the throughput. So let's say if you have a server which is able to handle a throughput of, let's say, 100 TPS, and you want to give this particular group of partners, let's say 5 or 10 TPS, then you can actually come over here and you can define how much TPS you want to give. So obviously higher values like 200, 300, 400, 500 essentially needs a clustered setup where it can be supported. But for a typical single server deployment, it will essentially can support up to 100. Yeah. So going to the next one, authentication. So that's the key. That means whenever you're connecting to the resource, you want to ensure that it is being secured. So it will be over HTTPS, but above and beyond, you can select certificate. So if you select certificate, that means you are ensuring that the client or the partner or the developer actually has to produce a certificate for two-way mutual authentication using the certificates. So if you disable it, then you can have the token option, which means that in the SOAP header or in the HTTP header in the WADL, you have to actually provide a unique random value, which is more like a auth key token, and that will be validated, and then only you'll be allowed inside. So this particular token actually is at a top level, meaning that this is a global token which will apply across all the APIs in these two WSDLs. Then in addition, so you have to have at least one of them. You cannot take away both of them. You have to have at least one of these two options enabled. You can have both of them enabled, but obviously you need to configure the system in that manner. So for keeping this demo simple, I am taking it into the token part. Next is the billing per transaction. So you can actually say that, okay, I want to bill for 10 cents per request or per API call. Or you can actually, the next one is where you can say I want to enable debugging or not. Now what is interesting is that in service card we are providing real-time debugging. So we are not asking you to restart or stop anything. It's just that this particular access point will be monitored for all the data that is coming inside, and no other access point will be touched with regards to the data being captured and debug enabled in that manner. So okay, something very similar I have to do it for the production. So over here I'll just for quickly showing it to you, I'll just disable these options right now. So I think, yeah, this one I have to keep it. Yeah. So I'm just okay, so I'm saying save. Now what is happening in the background is that we are creating a, okay, sorry, we are creating a, sorry, let me see if okay, I think the session has expired. I was talking too much. Huh? Why not? Okay, once again. Okay, I think let my team fix the problem. I think the online connection is down. So what I'll do is I will take the part 2 of this, where we will actually be successfully creating it and then using the SOAP UI to actually import that. Yeah. So the part 2 version, we will cover the remaining part of how access point will be created and issued to the user and how they'll be using that. Yeah. Thanks.